Hi guys. It's me. I have done this post so many times. It's quite patently ridiculous. As usual, I ramble so much it runs into 14-15 minutes, and I already know YouTube isn't going to load that. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. And see if that flies. It has been a hectic month. And I just realized today, while I was going over one of my most depressing fics ever, DWRPS, no, I'm likely not going to share with anybody except my poor fic wifey, who tolerates absolutely everything that I put to her, even when I'm stupid, and hand her something that is similar to a situation she had lived through before, and it was terrible, and it was not too long ago, and yeah, Laura, I love you. You put up with way too much from me. I discovered, can't go off topic, while I was running through this possibly one of my most depressing fictions I have ever written, that I have seasonal depression. It sideswipes me every year. It's like I had forgotten that we were heading into October, so we were heading into that season. So to me, I'm like, aha, now all of my up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down posts have been explained. But, even if it wasn't seasonal depression creeping in to, knock my happy place out from underneath me when I'm standing in the middle of it, because that's what it's like. I mean, I'm all like, yay, I spend most of my time like that. It's ridiculous, it really is. And then bang, I'll just feel hollowed out, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything today. Yay, seasonal depression. It always starts hitting right around October. I have no idea why. Though it's probably because the seasons are changing. Here in Kentucky, the seasons can never make up its mind, so it's kind of hard to gauge. But for those of you who've been hanging around for the last couple of years, you remember it's usually around October, and it always takes me by surprise. This is also the time of year that everything decides to pile on me at once. And my sleeping patterns always go loolally. I have not been sleeping well the past month. And it's, part of it is the fighting off the flea invasion. We've been succeeding, but not as well as I'd like. Cold weather should take care of most of it, but then we'll eradicate what we can as we can and just keep doing it all winter, and hopefully they won't come back. Doubtful, since the backyard's just completely infested with them. But we're going to do our darndest to make sure we don't get hit as bad by the time springtime rolls around. But I have a feeling that a lot of my lack of sleep isn't just that. I mean, my sleeping patterns have been poor since my last job. And the hell that I went through there, let's put it this way, I still don't have a job, but not having a job is better than being there. I did discover the reason why I was asked to not work my last 2 days. I was asked to not work my last 2 days because I did my job. They called me up and asked me not to work my last 2 days, and I asked them why, and they were like, well, we got the guards to cover, yada, 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 it's been great having you, blah, 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 blah. Well, I have a bad habit of making friends. And they were more than happy to inform me that I basically was asked not to work the last 2 days because I had people come in that weren't on my list, so I didn't let them in. This was a problem. They weren't on my list, so I didn't let them in. And yet the upper management's like, well, she didn't let them in. So I did my job, and they didn't want me to come in and do the last 2 days of that job. Whatever. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Place is a mess, and likely they won't be holding that account much longer, so I'm not even that freaking worried about it. Hubby may have a job later today. He's supposed to be going to a job fair. Now, this is fun and confusing in and of itself, because he's already applied to this friggin' temp agency. I know, I hate them too. But he's already applied to this frigging temp agency, and they have the jobs. But they're doing a job fair so he can reapply for jobs that are sitting right there, and he's already applied. Okay, yeah. For those who didn't have a headache from I was asked to not finish out my job because I did my job, chew on that one for a little while. Logic is completely blown in today's society. Completely blown. Which is reflected in my child's work that he gets from school, where they are now introducing non-linear thinking into a linear thinking setting and expecting him to keep up. Then again, we are talking the same people who expect the parents to be the teachers and want him to work at 2 different computer programs that aren't supposed to be additional tools. They're supposed to be teaching him, because why the fuck are we paying a teacher? I literally ate up the last 5 posts with this type of bitch, so I'm just going to let it go at that. Non-linear thinking in a linear thinking setting. My computer is supposed to teach him, and he has 1st grade stuff mixed in with kindergarten, mixed in with 3rd. So, yay. We now know the reason why we are ranked world's lowest. Actually, we were ranked world's lowest 20 years ago before we introduced the system that now put us below that. And we wonder why all of our children are idiots today. So, life has been going pretty good. Yeah, I'm still in a holding pattern. They haven't found anything for me within Louisville. But hubby may have a job, and if he does, we will work around it. He's worried about, getting the kids to school, picking them up. I told him, we'll find a way around. Don't even worry about that. Let's just get somebody in this household working, preferably you, because he's champing at the bit. I can always find something to do. Just like any of the jobs that I did, I can find something to do. Trust me. So we'll see how that pans out. So keep your fingers crossed there. Children are doing great, except for my bitches with Ronan's teachers and their lack of. And I am rid of a job that was throwing me off every which way. Not only was the place I working, I must have lost 7 pounds working there. It was so hot. Of course, I don't pay any attention to things like that. I'll stand there and sweat to death all day long and I don't pay any attention. So, I lost weight there. And didn't realize it until I go to pull on jeans I normally have to struggle into, and I don't have to struggle into them anymore. My eating patterns went off, and then my sleeping patterns were the next to follow. It didn't make a difference if I got my standard 5 hours, which is standard for me, and usually quite sufficient, or if I got 8, or if I got 12. Last month and a half, I haven't felt like I've been getting any sleep at all. Then to top it all off, this friggin' flea infestation. Whether or not I'm getting bit, it's the anticipation of getting bit, which keeps me awake. Then within, about the time that I step away from this job, seasonal depression hits, and it takes me 2 weeks to realize it. I realize it while I'm in the middle of reviewing one of the most depressing fics I think I have ever written, that, once again, I'm not sharing, except with my poor fic wifey, who loves me endlessly, and I love her endlessly, and I would love her even more, even if she didn't read this damn thing. But because she reads it, and she really shouldn't, the adoration, it only soars, sweetie. And the wave, it's always long. But I realized while reading this that, the depression was hitting. How stupid is that? And it's only because the fiction is so freaking depressing that I realize the seasonal depression is hitting, because I can't think of anything else. Literally, I sit down to write my supernatural, and I'm like, the brain just kind of go to write Doctor Who. So I'm sitting here writing, DWRPS, that, you know, will make even the most darkest dark figure probably want to stab themselves just to stop the pain. It's that bad. There's just no way out of this one. So seasonal depression will probably be knocking me around, well, for a long time yet. So you see how tired, obviously, I look. I'm probably going to be looking that way until spring hits. As it is now 1 o'clock in the morning. This is like the 6th time that I've tried this, and the first time that I've actually managed to keep it under 15 minutes. So I'm going to try to end on a happy note. And I know that there are those of you who want to know how the kitty is. This, oh, stretches, baby. This is Jack. And of course, Jack is black, which means you cannot see him too well. But you could probably see by me doing that. He is a big kitty. He is not the same creature that we picked up. You could hold my hand. You could see it was like a little bedraggled ball of fur. This thing thinks he owns everything. He looks like a miniature panther. He behaves like a miniature panther. As far as he is concerned, the boyos are his brothers. And he owns this shit. Okay, he owns all of it. Daddy and I happen to be fantastic chaise lounges. And we provide excellent food and care for this creature. And, of course, we are, you know, lounges. He talks a lot. He loves to talk to himself. You ask him a question, he'll talk to you. He chirps mostly. We don't know where he got that from, but he's definitely not the little itty bitty that you guys saw, and he's so sleepy. He's so sleepy, aren't you? He's a good boy, Jack. But yeah, this is Jack. So as you can see, this cat is doing perfectly fine, guys. Way better, in fact. We grow them big around here. I mean, after all, this is my 6-year-old. This is my 3-year-old. He's going to be 4 here soon. No big surprise, little itty-bitty bedraggled kitten I had is this size. I mean, he's black, so it's kind of hard to see him. But, yeah, he a big kitty. At least he thinks he's a big kitty. So for all those who wanted to see my Jack, there he is. And we'll probably be able to end this vid post on a happy note instead of one of my usual rambling rants. Though, really, if you got any coherency out of this, and you could understand a damn thing of what I was saying, and you could actually follow through, you might want to up your meds. Okay? I love you guys. Hopefully I'll be talking to you all soon. Maybe I'll be doing another vid post soon if I can actually gather coherent thoughts and lay them out in the correct order that can be easily understood, like this wasn't. But it is 1 o'clock and it is long past time for me to go to bed. So I will tell you guys that I love you. I will talk to you all soon, and to take care of each other and be good to one another.